Well, my name is Mackenzie Shane, and for my Indigenous Term project, I will be focusing on the North Sentinel Islanders. The Sentinel people are a uncontacted tribe, so they have resisted outside contact for most of their known history. So with that, most of what is known about the tribe has only been gathered by viewing them from boats, helicopters, and a few brief periods when they allowed authorities to get close enough, only due to gifts. As previously mentioned, I will be focusing on the North Sentinel Islanders for my presentation. The Sentinelese people continue to remain uncontacted, often firing spears and projectiles at anyone who approaches them from outside their tribe. And like so many isolated indigenous tribes, they have been labeled as savage and backwards. However, their hostility to outsiders can easily be understood when looking at their history. The outside world has brought them nothing but violence. However, through my presentation, I hope that you can learn the importance of isolated indigenous tribes and why it is so essential uncontacted tribes be protected from the outside world. And lastly, I hope you acquire knowledge on their history, skills they inhabit, and their latest encounters with humans of modern society. The Sentinelese tribe is considered to be one of the world's last uncontacted peoples. The tribe is believed to be no larger than 100 people, although they are previously believed to be a tribe of 8,000 people. The women of the tribe have been seen wearing fiber strings tied around their waists, necks, and heads. The men also wear necklaces and headbands, but with a thicker waistband. The men also carry spears, bows, and arrows. The tribe resides in the Bay of Bengal, a remote island that is a part of the Indian Ocean. It is believed that they live in 3 small bands. They have 2 different types of houses: large communal huts with several hearths for a number of families, and more temporary shelters with no sides. This temporary house often being seen on the beach, only fitting 1 family inside of it. Although they are commonly as described as living in the Stone Age, this is not true. They, like all peoples, have adapted over the years. The islanders are clearly extremely healthy, alert, and thriving from what can be perceived from the distance. It is unsure what language they do speak, as little is known about their tribe. The Sentinelese hunt and gather in the forest and fish in the shoreline waters. They make tools and weapons from metal, which they recover from shipwrecks. Their use of metal can be an example of upgrading the technology, as they have not always used metal. They build small, narrow canoes, which they maneuver with long poles in the relatively shallow, calm waters inside the reef. The canoes are said to be so narrow that they can hardly fit 2 feet within them. The Sentinelese also weave mesh baskets, and they use wooden adzas tipped with iron, another form of technology. The Sentinelese use bows and arrows to hunt their food and survive on metalworking and agriculture. They are known for their ability to predict the incoming of natural disasters, which is proven through their survival of the 2004 tsunami. The tribe uses basic methods to eat their food. They fish and harvest mud crabs and seafood from their canoes, as well as eat fruits, tubers that grow wild, such as potatoes or yams, as well as eat eggs from seagulls, possibly turtles, and maybe wild pigs or birds. The tribe continues to remain healthy, which can be a partial result of their diet. It is believed that the tribe continues to resist visitors due to the first contact made by the British in the late 1800s, when, despite their attempts to flee from them, 6 individuals from the tribe were captured and taken to the main island of the Andaman Island. The tribe's people were taken for the sake of science. Soon all 6 of the individuals from the tribe became sick. 2 of the captured adults died of illnesses, while the other 4 children were returned. The remaining 4 may have also been affected with illnesses that the islanders' immune systems were unequipped to deal with. The return of these 4 may have also resulted in the wiping out of thousands of tribe's people, only a fraction of the original population survives as compared to the 8,000 that previously existed. Although not much is known about the Sentinel's history, studies show that the tribe is believed to have migrated from Africa tens of thousands of years ago. Anthropologists also suppose that they may have been separated from the other Andaman Island tribe for tens of thousands of years, although this is not certain. The earliest recorded mention of the North Sentinel Island was in 1771 by British surveyor John Ritchie, who stated that, "If we may judge from the multitude of lights seen upon the shore at night, it is well inhabited," this proving that there was now life on this island. They have since lived in the Bay of Bengal for possibly 60,000 years. It is believed that there were 8,000 islanders when the British tried to colonize them in the 18th century. However, it is believed that there is only 100 tribespeople left. Over the years, they adapt and change their ways. For example, they now use metal from shipwrecks for weapons. Here I have two pictures, and if you look at the first one, you can notice the red arrow pointing to the North Sentinel Island. So that is just that smaller island in the middle of the water. Surrounding it is the Bay of Bengal, so that is just the body of water around it. And second, you can see the island from a closer view. The island is actually surrounded by coral reefs and has a lack of natural harborers. The entire island is forested, which you can see, except for the shoreline, which is a sand front. The island continues to remain protected and prohibits any travel to the island, as well as if you approach closer than 9.26 kilometers, it is illegal. This is in order to protect the tribespeople from coming into contact with any disease to which they cannot protect themselves from, but as well as to protect the safety of individuals from modern society. Most of what is known by the tribe has been gathered only by viewing them from boats, and a few brief periods when they allowed authorities to get close enough due to gifts. These gifts being bananas, coconuts, and an attempt to give them a pig. However, they did just kill and bury the pig underneath the sand. Like most uncontacted tribes, the Sentinelese are considered high risk for contagious diseases borne by outsiders. They have little to no immunological defense. So us as humans approaching them can be fatal to their entire tribe. They continue to resist contact with the majority of the world, often firing spears and projectiles. Indian laws do not allow anyone to trespass their territory in an attempt to preserve their way of life and protect them. However, this law does not only protect the people of the island, but also humans of modern society, because the tribe has expressed that they do not wish to see humans of modern society, and it could be deadly towards us. Although the Sentinelese are protected under the Indian law, humans of modern society continue to try and make contact with them. From 1967 until 1991, anthropologist T.N. Pandit tried contacting the tribe but failed. They were able to exchange gifts, such as coconuts. However, they were never invited to travel inland onto the island or connect with the tribe. So with that being said, Pandit was never able to experience their way of life or culture. In 1974, the National Geographic team visited the island with a team of anthropologists in hopes of learning more about the tribe. However, they had to come back as the director was shot with arrows in his leg. The Indian government has been attempting to connect with the endangered tribe for many years. During the 2004 tsunami, an Indian Coast Guard helicopter flew over the island to provide help and check on their welfare. However, it was attacked with arrows from tribesmen on the beach. Indian officials continue to visit the island for periodic census, the last visit being in 2011. Despite the known history of the island, poachers still continue to fish around the island. Two Indian fishermen in 2006 drifted ashore onto the island because their makeshift anchor failed during the night. The fishermen were then murdered by the tribe and both their bodies were buried on the island. In 2018, John Allen Chow, a U.S. missionary who believed it was his calling that he teaches the people of the Sentinelese tribe about the Christian religion, was murdered by the tribe while trespassing onto their land. This incident sparked up a discussion about protection for uncontacted tribes like the Sentinelese people. And lastly, I just want to talk about why it is essential isolated Indigenous tribes be left uncontacted. The Sentinelese are one of over 100 uncontacted tribes living today, the vast majority of them in the Amazon. It is not uncommon for 90% of a tribe to perish following the first contact with the outside world. This can be seen through the British colonization. Although it is not certain, the tribe's population did drop from 8,000 people to 100 as seen as today. Without protection, uncontacted tribes face catastrophe, often from modern society. This can be witnessed through other uncontacted Indigenous tribes throughout the Amazon. The survival of the Sentinelese people should be put before the will to know. They have rights, and it is understood that they wish to remain isolated as they continue to refuse contact. Forced contact with this tribe only denies the Sentinelese their rights. If they wish to make contact with the world, they will do so. They choose to have no interaction with the modern society. Often because of the catastrophic violence and diseases such contact has brought to their people in the past. It is their choice and it is their right to remain isolated within the North Sentinel Island. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed it.